Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video. And this is another paid request, this time from Jose Ballard, who wanted me to do a commentary on this film, 2012. Now, for those interested in requesting any type of reviews, re-reviews, topics, reactions, randomness, out of the blueness, commentaries, lists, whatever it may be, feel free to send either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box under the video. And I have a pause at the beginning for those who want to follow along. I will count down. 3, 2, 1, pressing play. We're at 5 seconds. Here's a logo coming up. This is for syncing. We're at 10 seconds. And then we have the lady. What's under her skirt? Her toga. It's toga, not skirt. Columbia, Sony Pictures, Blinding Light, and we're at 25 seconds. It's the sun being pulled away. I think. It's been a while since I've seen this. Yeah, we're at some planets, including the Earth. From the Earth to the Moon. And faded out. Columbia Pictures presents. Now, like I said, it's been a long while since I've watched this film. I remember liking it, hence why I got the DVD. But it's funny, that's why I don't collect a lot of movies anymore, like physical media, unless it's something I absolutely love, because it's so hard to find the time to rewatch. There's so many movies in so little time, it's hard to rewatch stuff. Because this came out around 2009. At the end of the year, the big movie was Avatar, which became the most successful film of all time. I know James Cameron, I guess, filmed 2, 3, and wants to film 4. Okay. So, I mean, this actor here in the back of the cab was a Chiwetel Ejiofor. I always butcher his name. I do like him as an actor. He was in Doctor Strange. He worked with Doctor Strange, and then you could tell in the future he'll become a villain. He was also in this film called Red Belt, which was a pretty decent drama with a little bit of martial arts, but not like the type of Van Damme. This is like different type of martial arts. It is more of a serious drama. I remember that being pretty decent. I think even Tim Allen was in it. But this guy's a good actor. I think he was in 12 Years a Slave. Of course, the whole concept of the film is, for so long, there was a calendar that said that the end of the world would be in 2012. Which is funny, because we're almost 10 years after it, because it's almost the new year, 2022. So it's funny that day-wise, 10 years after that event was supposed to happen. But again, this came out in 2009. I will say they kind of missed an opportunity to wait a couple years and like make 2012 in the year 2012. This year, you're doomed. 2012. Coming out in 2012. I mean, whatever the date was, I think it was like December something 2012. I think a marketing strategy would have been to release it on the day we're supposedly doomed on the calendar. But, I mean, that wasn't in the cards. But I'm just saying that would have been pretty interesting. This is this scientific gobbledygook. The neutrinos. I remember the neutrinos from the original Ninja Turtles. They were these cool duder aliens. It's funny, you take these movies and you put the sense of humor. Roland Emmerich was kind of doing it before all the Marvel films were doing it with the humor. But here's the thing now. For those who don't know, Roland Emmerich directed this. At the time, he said this is the last disaster film I'll ever make. Of course, that was a lie, because he did Independence Day Resurgence. He's doing Moonfall. But you know what? I like the guy. His films may not be the smartest, the sharpest tools in the shed, the brightest light bulb. But for escapism entertainment, I think for the most part, Roland handles it fairly well. My favorite of his will always be Universal Soldier, because you got Jean-Claude Van Damme versus Dolph Lundgren. In the heyday, 1992, heyday of action films, we have fisticuffs and brutal fights, and Dolph Lundgren, "Can you hear me?" with a string of ears that he cut off. Love Universal Soldier. Then after that, that was around the time that he had done a couple films before. One was called Making Contact, where a kid, his father had died, and he also has these telekinetic abilities. So he inadvertently makes this dummy come alive, but then there's like an evil force trying to get the kid. And I remember, like, the kid, depending on which version you saw, he had these Star Wars toys that I think was cut out in the US version for copyright, whatever that falls into. But yeah, Making Contact was one of them. Moon 44 was another one with Michael Pare. And then you had... And yeah, I'm going to take my time. This is a 2.5 hour movie. So I'm going to take my time talking. After that, Roland Emmerich wanted to do Isobar. He was going to do Isobar. For those who don't know, that was a film that was going to be made for the company Carolco, who was releasing Terminator 2 and Rambo First Blood Part 2, Rambo 3, ultimately Universal Soldier. And Isobar was going to be a big-budget sci-fi action film starring Sylvester Stallone, Kim Basinger, I think James Belushi would be in it. It was on this sci-fi supersonic train. Stallone would play, I don't know if it's like a scientist or something like that, where you're trying to find out there's some experiment on the train, a plant-like creature that will suck the water out of your body, and the effects were going to be made by Rick Baker. So you got Rick Baker doing makeup effects for a plant creature, which that makes it more unique, because other than Day of the Triffids, or if you play a Resident Evil game, there's not a lot of stuff with plant creatures. We got Danny Glover, Mike Harrigan himself, the man, as the president. There you go, progressive. You have Morgan Freeman as the president, Deep Impact. Danny Glover is the president here. But yeah, Isobar is one of those films that I wish was made. I think we missed out on a damn good, fun, entertaining escapism movie. Stallone in a big budget sci-fi horror film by the guy who'd go on to give us Independence Day. We missed out, man. But then, again, that was the time where it was like 2 or 3 weeks before they start filming, and they just were running out of money. They spent too much money on stuff. They spent too much money on parties and all this stuff. They're spending more than you're making. And they had some big hits, but when you're spending more and giving these expensive gifts to these big parties, it was too much. And then at one point, they could finance Crusade with Arnold Schwarzenegger and directed by Paul Verhoeven. That didn't come to be. That's another film, missed opportunity. And then Sally, how do I put it? satirical. They were pretty much in deep shit by the time they were making Cutthroat Island. But I still wish that instead of Cutthroat Island, before they said green light to that movie, they would have given the money for Isobar. I would trade Cutthroat Island for Isobar or Crusade or both any day, but especially Isobar. So then what happened was, after that, Roland Emmerich, I think, got the job for Stargate. Well, Universal Soldier, 92, that was a hit, especially worldwide. And then that went into Stargate, which came out around 94. And then that was a decent-sized hit. And you go, okay, what's he going to do next? So, 20th Century Fox lets him have the opportunity to do Independence Day. And that put him on the map. Sorry, I was just listening to the dialogue. Pretty much by this point, they know it's going to be the end of the world in 2 years, so they're secretly planning under the radar of the public. I like this idea. They're exchanging the Mona Lisa, so they get the real one, they put a fake one up, and they do this for all the art and stuff they want to keep. They pretty much know that once the shit hits the fan, people are like, ah, fuck it all, blow everything up. And that's one of the things I remember liking about the film, is that it does feel like an grand scale movie. Just, it's the end of the world. This guy on the right, I know I've seen him in stuff, but I cannot remember off the top of my head. But I know I've seen him in other pictures. But after Independence Day was such a huge hit, and it's a fun movie, it's a great popcorn film, Independence Day. So then you go into mass suicide, Ancient Mayan City. Sadly, that's the thing that's happened before, where you get mass suicide in their eyes, the end of times, only they happen to be right. I mean, what was it? What was that group of people in? Was it California? Some guy led these people to committing suicide because they thought that if they did it, their spirits would go into this spaceship in the sky, and just a really fucking. When people get brainwashed or thought into a certain phrase, certain motif, certain way of thinking, they'll be willing to do anything. It's like Jim Jones and the Jonestown Massacre, all that jazz. I mean, there's plenty of sadly other examples of that. And I like John Cusack. It was cool to see him in the lead of this kind of film. I know he doesn't give a shit about this particular film. I mean, he's not a fan of Con Air, and he's not a fan of Better Off Dead, which I think is a damn good comedy. And like, where's John Cusack now? Not doing much of shit. But you know what? I'll take Con Air, 1408. I enjoy this film. I like Grosse Point Blank. Like I said, I like quite a few films of John Cusack. And it just seems like a fun movie to make. You know, kind of a throwback to those disaster films back in the day. The Irwin Allen films. Like, you have the Poseidon Adventure, the Towering Inferno. And, John Cusack plays a, fun kind of a blue-collar character in a way. I mean, as in the fact that, he trying to do best for his family. He's a limo driver. Is the best he can do. I forgot who played his wife. Amanda Peet. I think Amanda Peet was in the whole 9 yards. Yeah, Amanda Peet was in the whole 9 yards, and she's been in other stuff too. Yeah, there's obviously a little bit of friction with what's going on here. Obviously, visitation rights, separation. But of course, after this event, they'll get back together, blah, 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 blah. Now, this actor here on the left, I remember him from this guy on the left who plays Ejiofor's father. I remember him. He was in Watchers back in the day. He was the guy teamed up with Michael Ironside. He's like, it's just a kid. What makes you so fucking special? And then sadly, Michael Ironside kills him off. But yeah, this guy talking here with the, what is it, a purple rose in his pocket? Now, from what I understand, in the original version of the movie, he did not die. There's a deleted scene on this DVD where this whole yacht remains were cast on like an island or something, and he was still alive. Like, he was still... I don't know why they cut that out. I guess... I mean, it is already a 2 hour and 30-some minute movie. But I mean, that would have been, what, another minute or so? I think that would have been fine to keep in. But that is the thing with this movie, or this type of movie, you're trying to juggle so many characters. Like, we got John Cusack, and what's going on with his family. I think that, if I remember, there's like an accident here. Yeah. Well, I don't think that's an accident. That's literally him getting killed off. To keep the secret, so there's that panic. But yeah, John Cusack is just a likable guy. I don't know, the sense of humor in Roland Emmerich films, I actually rather enjoy. Because it's like Michael Bay when he puts sense of humor, unless it's someone like Will Smith or Sean Connery to really make it funny. Other than that, to be kind of cringeworthy. But I guess like Michael Bay is more of, oh, look at two rats fucking, and Bumblebee pissed on someone's head. While this humor is more, I don't know how to put it, cleaner in a way, and trying to be goofier for the character. I don't know how to put it. I guess in a way, like, the humor in this kind of humor you would see in, like, a Marvel film. Which, that's the thing, is that too many of them try to do that. But yeah, Independence Day... classic film, came out in 1996. And I'm trying to think of what happened after it. Oh, here's Thandiwe Newton. She's been in quite a bit of stuff. Daily Car Explosion. Sorry, I'm kind of bumbling around. It's been a while since I've seen this. So, just trying to refamiliar myself with the events in the film. French Museum director. Yeah, Oliver Platt. That's the guy who was sitting down who got up to leave. Oliver Platt. He was in the Three Musketeers back in the day with Charlie Sheen, Kiefer Sutherland. He was in Flatliners with Julia Roberts and Kiefer Sutherland, directed by Joel Schumacher. So yeah, Flatliners, Three Musketeers. He was in Lake Placid. I know a friend of mine hates Oliver Platt's guts. I actually don't mind him. I like Oliver Platt. But yeah, after Independence Day was such a huge hit, he pretty much had carte blanche to do anything he wanted, and the next film he wanted to do was Godzilla. And I really enjoy the 1998 Godzilla. I do. I know a lot of people don't. A lot of people hate the film. I can understand in the fact of, it calls itself Godzilla and it doesn't really act like Godzilla. I can understand that. Being mad about that. I can. But as a guy that, I grew up as a kid, I was only a little familiar with Godzilla. I have seen maybe 3 films of that character. I think Godzilla vs. Megalon, Son of Godzilla, maybe Monster Zero, maybe 4, because I saw the one with him and the little kid who had daydreams about Godzilla's son. Godzilla's Revenge, I think it was called. So maybe it was like 4 of them I had seen. But yeah, I think if they call that Reptilian, if they call that any other name, it would not have gotten as much complaints as it did. Because I do think it's just a fun, entertaining escapism movie. And that's the thing, at the end of the day, I just think it's a much more fun film. With the spectacle and the model work of the cityscape and the characters, and like you said, the sense of humor that relates to the characters. Like that little bit there where John Cusack throws the hat and goes, "Go get your hat." Thus they climb over here into Yellowstone. Used to be a lake here. Sort of the early signs of what's going on. And I think with Roland Emmerich, when he makes a movie, he goes big or goes home. Fucking damn acid. We have Woody Harrelson here as the sort of conspiracy theorist type of guy. Only happens to be right in this instance. See, like, again, big shots like this, grand shots with the helicopter shots. But again, I enjoyed the 1998 Godzilla film. I think it's a fun movie. And then after that, I don't mind The Day After Tomorrow. I do think that's one of his lesser efforts. I hate 10,000 BC. His worst films to me are Independence Day Resurgence and 10,000 BC. I liked White House Down. I actually thought that was a fun movie. Moonfall I look forward to. It's going to be big. It's going to be dumb. But people are like, well, why is it that you're okay with that, but say you complain about Spider-Man No Way Home? Number one, films like Spider-Man No Way Home, in my opinion, or Ghostbusters Afterlife, get very overpraised, in my opinion, as if there's nothing wrong with it. If you told me I enjoy Spider-Man No Way Home because it's a bit dumb movie and I had fun, okay. Disagree, but okay. But I mean, would people say it's a master? Like, again, these films I would not call masterpieces, but if you're going to be entertaining, do it well. Chris was naive and unabashed optimist. But I think that's Roland Emmerich does that well for a lot of these movies, is that he gets characters, in my opinion, that become likable and humane. I did like the John Cusack and Ejiofor there. Again, they get these personalities that are not strict and bland and boring. You know, there could be a sense of humor, like him being a fanboy of the book John Cusack wrote. Like he's a fan. Oh man, I remember you. Oh no, I didn't buy it. Really? No, I mean my dad gave it to me, so I didn't buy your book. But humor that just seems a bit more genuine in its humor. And here's pretty much the. They thought it'd be in a few months, but it's a bit early, so. You know, what do you do when you know the world is going to end and you can't save everybody? That's a tough question to answer. It is. It's such a tough question to answer. And like here, like this guy tries to get an airlift for this family, but I think this family does get killed off. I'm not sure if the boy lives. Again, sorry, been a while since I've seen this. But yeah, 10,000 BC and Independence Day Resurgence is the worst films he's done. Because Independence Day Resurgence. Sorry, my mind blanked out thinking about that film, because you kill Will Smith's character off screen because Will Smith didn't want to come back, so you make it about his son, played by a bland milquetoast of an actor. Or at least, maybe it's not him, maybe it's just the writing, maybe just something else entirely. Bill Pullman, you make it that after the events of the first one, he just went crazy, and he's kind of, and then he makes a self-sacrifice that really doesn't do anything, so it was a pointless self-sacrifice. If he did a self-sacrifice like Randy Quaid in the first Independence Day, or he did the self-sacrifice that then saved the world again, that'd be easier to swallow. But no, it's like he does his self-sacrifice, it doesn't do anything, it doesn't kill it doesn't do shit. Jeff Goldblum was completely wasted. Just such a useless fucking movie. I thought, and also you get to the age of just overuse of CGI, and this film does it too, but that I'm a bit more harsh on because I like the first one more, and I don't like many of the characters in the sequel. I thought you had Liam Hemsworth, very bland lead, like bland characters, and the only characters you liked were either killed off, turn crazy, or don't amount to doing much like Jeff Goldblum's character. Just a new series of characters, which is lame, in my opinion. In 10,000 BC, that's a film that I didn't care about the story, I didn't care about the plot, I didn't care for the effects, I didn't care for the lead characters. And I'm sorry, my stomach's going to have a conversation with me. Because I keep doing these before I eat. I need to do it after I eat so that my stomach's not having a conversation with the viewer. Ugh. But yeah, I liked White House Down, and Moonfall, again, I understand, I get hard... Well, wait. When you get hard at movies, you should only do it at porn films and in the privacy of your own home. Unless you want to be like Pee Wee Herman, do it in a theater, and then you'll get in trouble, and then you'll be on the news. For those who get that reference, good on you. But what was the... When I looked at a film like Ghostbusters Afterlife, or some of these other films this year, if you're going to be entertained, then be entertaining. You can be dumb. It's like Jackass, in a way. You look at the Jackass movies, they're dumb. They're dumb for doing these stunts, they're dumb for getting these predicaments, and they break their bones, and they break their ass. They eat well, they don't literally eat shit, at least not yet. But, they're doing something, they crash, they get completely harmed in like every orifice of their body. But you know what? They're doing it because it's entertaining. They're doing it because they do it to themselves, and they know that the way they do it to be entertaining and fun. I look forward to the new film that comes out next year, Jackass Forever. Same with these movies. They may be dumb, but they still kind of have a sincere attitude about them. Like, you have Woody Harrelson as this crazy conspiracy guy who makes this, like, home flash paint, whatever you call it, about the end of the world. Pretty neat, huh? I did all the animation myself. That's mean you give a little bit of personality to the characters. You lure them with you lure them in with humor, then you make them think. Like that again, that makes it a bit entertaining. But what's funny is that he's right. He's absolutely right about this. And it's okay, how do you give exposition? But you give exposition in an entertaining way. Jurassic Park did that with the film that Alan Grant and them watched with the little DNA figure telling them about how they cloned dinosaurs. Here's with this animation. Like, I actually am having fun watching John Cusack. I'm having fun watching Woody Harrelson. In fact, I wish Woody Harrelson was in more of the movie. If that's one of my few complaints, I wish Woody Harrelson was in the rest of the film. Because I think it would have been fun, him interacting. He's right about this one thing, but maybe he has all these other conspiracy theories that he's wrong about, but he's just right about this one thing. And said, oh yeah, you're crazy. So he says like something about the JFK assassination. He says something about aliens and Roswell. And Ejiofor or Danny Glover or someone else, Oliver Platt. But then he'll say one thing about this, and he'll be right about it. Yeah, right. I may be crazy, but I'm not that dumb. I wish Woody Harrelson was in the film a lot more. And because I think also, Woody Harrelson's a good actor. I liked him in White Man Can't Jump. Love him in that. Money Train, I think it's a bit underrated. I don't think it's as bad as people make it out to be. I loved True Detective. I need to get that on Blu-ray sometime. He was not the issue with Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage. It was the script, the direction, the tone, everything else. But Woody Harrelson was not the issue. And that, again, that's kind of the... That's kind of the thing about... Sorry, I'm pausing because Woody Harrelson in the scene before mentions about how they're buying seats. And that's again, that actually creates an interesting question about what would happen if it's the end of the world, and the only way you can buy a seat is with money. Now, granted, parties like, well, what does money? Well, money will be worthless at the end of the world, so why does paying that money buy you a seat? But maybe number one, you gotta put money into the economy to keep this ruse going, so that people try to not figure it out. Stopping information probably costs money because you have to hire people for something, but you can't quite tell them what for. Rice Krispies, Doritos, Ruffles. I want some Ruffles chips. God, I'm hungry for Ruffles chips. But I don't know, like, this film's long, 2.5 hours, but I remember never being bothered by... Oh, Vault. Damn, I remember Vault. That was pretty much another version of Surge. Really. Surge was like a straw and drink. I forget what fruit type of drink, but you felt this... Oh shit, now things are going crazy. But then Surge got discontinued, and then they came back as Vault. Pretty much they renamed it, and then that got discontinued. Yeah, this big earthquake in California. I think this one, the running time doesn't bother me because, again, I'm enjoying the characters, and it's going still at a good pace. It's, okay, we gotta establish these characters, and we gotta establish this event's gonna happen, and it's like, oh, we got John Cusack, and we got Woody Harrelson, we got Danny Glover, we got these characters that work well for what they need to do for the story they need to tell. I mean, like, it's been 30-some minutes long and it hasn't felt that. I think for me, as superficial as it does help if I have actors I do like, and at least I'm just enjoying the journey with actors. I guess you could say it for a lot of movies, for a lot of people, that you can enjoy a film that if you plug in an actor you don't care about or you're just indifferent on, it could be a chore, but because you like that actor, it makes it an much easier watch. Which is why back in the day they were cast based on who's a star and who's not a star. And to me, I know that's gone away because movie stars alone don't sell tickets. But I still think that's a valid commodity. That if you like a certain star, you take a chance on them, even like Will Smith. I like Will Smith. One of the reasons I took a chance on Gemini Man. Now, that was an awful fucking movie, but one of the reasons I took a chance because I liked that actor. Oh, this is the family that has the... They don't team up with the John Cusack's family. I would say, again, if I have any complaints about it, I wish instead of this Russian family, I think they're Russian. If they're not, I apologize. It's not that I think they're awful. At the end, I would rather it be Woody Harrelson and his crazy conspiracy guy. Because you did, like, again, him and John Cusack, I think, worked rather well together in the short bit of time they're in it together. And he could try, Woody trying to calm the kids down, but he's telling all these other conspiracy theories. It's like, you're not helping! Shut up! But that's why they introduced this character, is because you needed someone who was the high, powerful, rich person that could get to be part of the event to get into where they need to go. Now, granted, I would say it's, a race against time and being the right time, the right moment, the right circumstances to then get there. Kind of like what they did in, what was that Gerard Butler film? Greenland? Which I remember not minding. But yeah, what would you do if you had, the end of the world was happening and you couldn't do much, so you can't buy a seat because you're not the super rich. Again, you maybe don't know who would care about money, but again, it's, if this was done like 2-3 years before, you had some people that's like, oh, you know what, I want to take some of this money and live the best life for a year. Some we don't use this money to help finance, because you have to build this stuff, but you have to be secret enough that no one can tell, and that. Oh yeah, that's right. He's the limo driver for this guy. I mean, you gotta find a way to make him. How is he going to consult with the rich? Be a limo driver. So that's actually not too bad. That's actually not too bad of an idea. And you still have sort of this almost blue collar ability where he's looked down upon by these rich people, but he's doing the best that he can at his job. And of course, it's got kid being a fucking prick. But these little things that happen with the, how do you get your lead character? That's also, it's kind of a relatable character thrust into this crazy situation. Well played by John Cusack, who has that affable quality that we've seen in films like Better Off Dead, Grosse Point Blank. Even though he's a hitman, but he still has a fun sense of humor to him. If you haven't seen Grosse Point Blank, that's a very fun film. And even 1408. Which, on a side note, I wish a Blu-ray of 1408 came out that had the theatrical ending where he lived. It pissed me off that you can't get that. Like, it's on like the 2-disc DVD, but it's like, no, I want the fucking Blu-ray, a Blu-ray that has that ending in it. If there's a Blu-ray that has the ending where he lives, which is the theatrical cut, let me know, because I would love to purchase it. And also it makes sense because he wrote a book about the end of the world. So again, I think the writing in certain bits here is not... It's a little bit better than people give credit to. Okay, how is this guy more acceptable to the idea of the end of the world? He's written a book about the end of the world, Farewell Atlantis. We established that in a joking, fun manner with Chiwetel Ejiofor character. Said, oh, I'm a fan of that. Oh, the camping, we've had that established so that we have this conspiracy theory, so he learns about this stuff going on. Yes, you could say he's luck and fortune, right place, right time. What's the phrase I'm thinking of? It's convenient. You could say it's very convenient, but it's about the story. How does this one family get to safety who's just the regular family? Fuck the hats. And here's where Roland Emmerich's like, fuck it! I'm gonna destroy everything. I do remember this being an entertaining action scene. And that's the thing, like, Independence Day is not a short film either, but for the most part in his movies, I think he does a decent enough job pacing it. Even Godzilla 1998. And, I don't know, these effects I actually don't mind. I actually like these effects. And I like this a lot more than Avatar. Like, Avatar's a long movie and it's a fucking boring film. This, to me, is not boring. Come on, you old bags, get the fuck out of the way. I get it's over, but if you're going to go over the top, go for broke or go the fuck home. So these old bags, these old ladies get killed. And it's shot well enough, and the effects, I mean, for 2009, they're not that bad for 2009. I mean, again, this is over 10 years old, and Randy's Donuts. Again, it's like, okay, you gotta go through a whole city that's going, having a gigantic conniption fit. I mean, it's just like, so much shit going on. I mean, how do you want to make the end of the world? Fuck it, I'm gonna show you in the world. This is chaos in fucking incarnate. And yeah, this is a video game, but I will say that in this case, it's a fun video game. And there's a little bit of physicalness mixed in with the CG. And again, the CG for 2009, almost said 2012. I'll be honest, some of the CG looked like I've seen in some recent films. And I mean big budget films. I'm not even exaggerating. Again, let's go through a building that's crumbling around us, swerving left and right. John Cusack, action star. Pew. You just say we've had about 40-some minutes of build-up, and then we get a big action scene. Yeah, that limo is fucked. Again, convenient enough. You just happen to have a guy with you who knows how to fly. Again, it's a fairly convenient film. Like, imagine if he did not know how to fly, they'd be shit out of luck. But, yeah, it is a fairly convenient film. But here's the thing, I can excuse flaws if I'm being entertained. At the end of the day, I do just want to be entertained. When I see a lot of these films nowadays, I don't think they're that fun. I don't think they're that fun at all. It's like, we're not stupid. This, like, in a weird way, we know what we are. Thus, we have this bit of sense of humor with the characters, but at the same time, they're taking the situation seriously. I don't know, this is a grand scale of destruction, man. I think like some of the reactions are like kind of human reactions. Like I would be reacting to, oh shit. And damn, like Roland Emmerich definitely gets a certain sense of scale with this. And that's the thing, like you see the scale of destruction in this. Like, holy shit. Goddamn subway almost landed on them. Or train. Oh guys, these. You gotta skin the thread. Skin the thread. And that's horrifying in a way, with like these people just hanging on to dear life as like, but there's no way they'll be able to live. Like, holy shit. Jesus Christ. Sorry, I'm not saying anything. I'm listening to the dialogue. Damn, the whole city just going right into the ocean. Well, again, Roland Emmerich at the time said this would be the last disaster film he did, so he's like, fuck it, I'm gonna go big and go home. And that's why it was so weird that he would go back to do Independence Day Resurgence. It was a sequel no one was asking for. I'm sorry. No one was asking for a sequel to Independence Day. They defeated the aliens. They won. You only need one movie. Unneeded sequel. And the film bombed. And he wanted to do a setup for a third film. It never came to be because people said, we don't give a shit. Who gives a fuck? And it's true. Who gives a fuck? We don't need another goddamn... We didn't need one. But that does get into the conundrum where... Like, I like the film. I would probably give it maybe 3.5 out of 5 stars. I think if you let Woody Harrelson along with the ride... It may be 4 out of 5 stars, but I would say like 3.5 out of 5. So it's, pretty damn decent. I mean, top 5 Roland Emmerich films would probably be Universal Soldier, Independence Day. Let's see, 3 more. Universal Soldier, Independence Day. I like Godzilla 1998. I actually like White House Down. This might be in the top 5. It might be. It might be. The Day After Tomorrow I thought was okay, but that's a film that the pacing suffered a bit. Although I like Dennis Quaid, I like Jake Gyllenhaal. Day After Tomorrow was kind of like doing this film. That's kind of, Roland Emmerich kind of said, let me do Day After Tomorrow, but do it a bit better. And I think that's what he did. bigger cast, bigger spectacle. Everything in between. I thought this was a nice little conversation between father and son. That was nicely done. Nice human moment. I do like these actors. I think that helps as well. And again, I don't know what, like, the original... I don't know why it was deleted that, you know, this he lived, this character lived. I don't know why they deleted it. But pretty much they're going to Yellowstone to go find Woody Harrelson, get some info out of him. You see the... Sorry, I keep blanking out. It's like, again... God, I can't remember the last time I saw this film. It's been at least... It must be at least 5 years since I've seen this. At least 5 years. But... what I was saying before, action films of the 80s and 90s, you had the comic book style action heroes of John Rambo, John Matrix, things of that nature. They did these action films which were entertaining, over the top, but there was still a limit. Yes, it's over the top. Rambo blowing up a helicopter with a C4 tipped explosive arrow, but it's fun, it's entertaining, and there's still a limit. When you get to the point when CGI comes into play, because of CGI, you do a lot more stuff. You do a lot more big style, big epic event films. You could have tons of spaceships hovering over cities. You could blow up cities. You could blow up the entire world, which happens here. But when you do that, where do you go? How do you top yourself? Once you've blown up the world, how do you top yourself? And I think this film, again, it's fun, it's entertaining. It works for what it needs to do. But so many movies after would, whether it be Marvel films, DC films, other spectacle, entire cities blow up, entire worlds blow up. It just, where else can you go? In a way, you're kind of hot-shotting it. Think about it in terms of wrestling. And wrestling, back in the day, they would limit the moves what a person could do, so that when, oh, he got color, aka he got blood, or oh my god, he's on the top buckle and he does this, it's like, oh shit. And then as time goes on, okay, you did a table, oh, the person goes through a table, oh no, or he made a dive out of the ring, oh my god. But then as time went on, every single match, 2 times, 3 times, someone dives out, take 85 finishing moves, 30 flips, go through 7 tables. When you do that again and again and again, for an audience, they get a repetitive nature. They get used to it. Once you've done that in a consistent manner, you get used to it, you get numb to it, and you get this been there, done that mentality. So then you know, well, what else can you do? How can you top yourself? What other spectacle can there be? That's why you hope to have either characters you enjoy or personality or something in between to help you carry along. Whether it's the humor, the story, the characters, the personality, whatever it may be. Visceralness or intensity or suspense or machismo, adrenaline, something else into it. And CGI is a tool, but I, when you go so big, there's nowhere else you can go. And I think that affects a lot of movies today, as well as a lot of, I think the writing's gotten worse. Not just, oh, it's a dumb movie, but in terms of characters, in terms of personality, in terms of morality, in terms of all sorts of things in between. But I gotta admit, this stuff still looks pretty fucking cool. At least to me. I don't know why. Like, other movies, I'm like, it looks like a video game. But again, I don't know, just the way Roland Emmerich, he knows how to film spectacle like this. I will say that. Again, the effects, again, for 2009 film is actually fairly decent. And when he puts actual stuff, like that was an actual camper and the back of it was blown up, that was for real. When you mix that real stuff along with this stuff, it does help sell the illusion even better. Does it flip over? I'm trying to remember if it gets hit and flips over or something. Can't remember. Oh no, they think they got it, but then they like ride a wave or something. Nope. Yeah, it shows how. Shows what I know. He's gotta go get the map. Oh yeah, yeah, he stole the guy. He's gotta find the map. I think a film like this kind of just accepts the insanity of what's going on and goes along with it. You know, if you don't make it an end of the world movie, you might as well make it a bit of fun. I think what I'm at the end of the day, I think Roland Emmerich, for the most part, knows how to film escapism that could be entertaining. And it becomes exciting. And it's sad, this stuff looks better than Independence Day Resurgence did. That was quite a few years after. I'm actually rather impressed with the effects in this movie. With the time it was made in 2009. It's a grand spectacle. And here's the thing, when I talk about some of the newer films, people go, "What's wrong with you? Don't you want fun?" Yeah, I want fun. Fun is number one on my priority. I think there's movies that know how to do it. There's directors who know how to do it. There's people that take themselves, and movies, I should say, that take themselves so seriously, or the action escapism part. They just don't accomplish it as well as I think films back then did, even around this time. I mean, it's something when I say even around 2009, it was a better state of affairs in movies compared to today. And that's why, I look forward to Moonfall. Like, of next year, 2022, I would say John Wick 4, but that got pushed to 2023. I look forward to Moonfall. Halle Berry, Patrick Wilson's in it. I saw the first trailer. That was a bit mysterious. I'm staying away from any other trailers. I will say Roland Emmerich definitely captured. I keep saying that he captures the scale of this event. A lot of movies when they do this stuff, especially back in the day, it was stuff you hear on the radio, stuff you hear, and people walk into a room, have conversations. Oh, this is down. This happened. To visually represent it, you do need a budget for it. I thought. Again, I'm the first, second, and third guy that will complain about CG, but if it's a tool used well and you have other stuff going for it, World War Z I enjoyed. Would I rather be practical than CG? Yes, but I enjoy World War Z. Give me a breathless pace, or give me some people I give a shit about, and more so. There be anarchy. I'll reply, there already is anarchy. There's already anarchy. People are already fucking going for the hills. Yeah, if I want to remember, I think Danny Glover stays behind. I don't know why, just for a second I thought Danny Glover was going to say, "Fuck yourself." But he's not my character. He's not Predator 2, Danny Glover. He's Mr. President. And sadly, this is a film that no one really talks about. No one ever brings this movie up, and that's too bad, because I do think it's a pretty decent escapism movie. I remember the teaser had this was heavily focused. And if it works well, I could be a sucker for disaster films. I mean, I like Volcano. I like Daylight with Sylvester Stallone. I enjoy. That's not a natural disaster, but I mean, still a disaster movie. I like the core. I know a lot of it doesn't make any sense at all, but again, that's dumb, but it's fun, entertaining. I like the characters. I like the insanity. So embrace the insanity and don't look like a sci-fi channel film. If you give me characters I like, you embrace insanity. Like there's a budget here. Like look at these big grand scopes, and I'm watching on a DVD. I'm not even watching it on a Blu-ray. I don't have the Blu-ray. Again, there's a lot of idea. That's probably the others. If I said the first complaint I had was I wish Woody Harrelson was in it more. The second complaint is again, there's a lot of convenient stuff that happens. Oh, they just happen to be so lucky to do this. Happen to be so lucky to do that. I can understand being annoyed by that. I really can. I do think Danny Glover's character kind of fucked up here, though. I think I get Danny Glover's idea of why he wants to stay, but at the same time, you don't be leading a new generation of people. And if Danny Glover was here, none of this would be happening with this Oliver Platt being a dick. But like Oliver Platt says, what do you think we're going to go in peacefully and sing Kumbaya? Sadly, that's true. Doesn't mean what he did was right, though. But I mean, to lead, you're leading a new group of people. They need a leader. You want to make sure this all goes as well as it can. But again, if the president was there, if Danny Glover was there, Oliver Platt would not be able to do all this shit because I did Ejiofor could just go Danny Glover and Danny Glover then punch Oliver Platt in the face. Fuck you. Like he did to the reporter in Predator 2. Where he's like, I'm too old for this shit. Fuck you, Oliver Platt. Throw him off Air Force One while we're in flight. Funny enough, Oliver Platt was an executive decision, so another plane movie that he did it thrown off of. And you gotta think, like, all these people in the room, they know they're not going to get to safety either. Kind of stand there going, yep, we're screwed. But it's one of those things that, what do you do? If the world is ending, what do you do? Where do you go? He just so happens to know her as a doctor patient thing. He don't care. And it just so happens they need a co-pilot. So again, it's a lot of conveniences stretched along the way. And I just watched it. Yeah, I didn't realize just how many conveniences. Oh, it just happens they need a co. Like they land there. It just so happens it's the same place that this family's at. This Russian group of people. And it just so happens they need a co-pilot. Just so happens it's a movie with a lot of. It just so happens that it just so happens that. Uh, yeah. Again, it's one of those things where you either go with it or you don't. And they made the right decision. They made the right decision to get the fuck out of there. Like, again, this could have been Woody Harrelson driving this. Yeah, I can fly. Oh, no, you don't want this. Yeah, I flew in the war. Like, come on, Woody Harrelson, he says like a character there would be a war, and he could have been a pilot. Well, I mean, I flew a helicopter pilot, but, I've tried this out once or twice. And like Woody Harrelson here could be making fun of the situation. Whoop, here we go. A little bit of Randy Quaid from Independence Day, a little bit of that craziness. Sorry, I'm not saying much. I'm just again marveling just how big the scope is with the film. Damn, we're an hour and 18 minutes. Hour and 19 minutes. So we got like an hour left in the movie. Oh shit. Whoops. Yep, bye bye, Eiffel Tower. We get to pretty much the DVD cover of this. I don't know if you needed this stuff in here, though. It's kind of like you're about an hour and 20 minutes in, and now you're like starting off with like characters we've never seen before. It's like, again, I don't know if you needed this stuff in here. I'll be honest, I don't remember what comes of all this stuff here. But I like that they add a little bit of, yeah, they may be, but they still know how to drive a car and such. I'm trying to remember what this all pertains to. And yeah, I apologize. I just tended to enjoy with the film, but this is not a film I've seen like 5, 6 times. I've probably seen this maybe 3 times. So, I mean, this is maybe the 3rd or 4th time I've seen the film. It's not like a lot of the films back in the day where I watched it 30, 40 times. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't mean to be silent. So let me go on here and I want to look up the Wikipedia to get some information for you guys. So I'm not just sitting here just going. And I mean, people are like, well, why don't you? I'm not a guy that will riff on a film that I like. Yeah, I'll say, oh yeah, there's a lot of convenience system like that, but I don't. I'm not Mystery Science Theater 3000. If it's a film that's dog shit, absolutely. But when it's a film that I think is pretty decent or in between, I just not really that type of guy. So let me look up some info for you guys. Okay, let me see. Yeah, get rid of that. 2012, 2009 film. Okay. And sorry about this, guys. $5.8. I mean, I don't think. I don't know about 5.8. I would give it a little bit higher than that. Let's see. Filming originally planned for LA began in Vancouver in August 2008. Grossed $769 million against a $200 million budget. 5th highest grossing film of 2009. criticism of screenplay and runtime, but praise for his visual effects. Damn, Hawaii. It's just one big piece of lava. So, okay, let me double check something real quick. I apologize, folks. Damn, that went up shit creek. And then some. Okay, I gotta do something real quick here. I apologize. Dan, sorry, it's trying to do one thing after the other. Oh God, someone wants me to... I request Trump versus the Illuminati. Oh wow. I could goddamn guarantee you this is better than Trump versus the Illuminati. Yeah, get me back to this one. So this is what we got here. Roland Emmerich said, I always wanted to do a biblical flood movie, but I never felt I had the hook. I read a book called Fingerprints of the Gods. Sony Pictures Entertainment received the rights to the spec script. Let's see. They're talking about marketing. Comcast organized a roadblock campaign to promote the film in which a 2-minute scene was broadcast on 450 American commercial TV networks, local English language and Spanish language stations, and 89 cable outlets during a 10-minute window between 10:50 and 11 p.m. Eastern Pacific Time on October 1st, 2009. The scene featured the destruction of LA and ended with a cliffhanger, with the entire 5-minute, 38-second clip available on Comcast's Fancast website. The stunt would put the footage in front of 90% of all households watching ad-supported TV, or nearly 110 million viewers. Huh. Never knew they did that. Came out in November 2009. The 2-disc Blu-ray includes over 90 minutes of features. Huh. Grossed $166 million in North America, $603 million in other territories for $769 million worldwide. So while the film did not make a whole lot of money in the U.S., it didn't even crack $200 million in the U.S. Most of its money was made foreign. Huh. The second highest grossing film directed by Roland Emmerich behind Independence Day. In 2020, it was the second most popular film and seventh most popular overall title on Netflix in March 2020. Roger Ebert gave it 3.5 out of 4 stars. Delivers what it promises, since no sentient being will buy a ticket expecting anything else. It will be, for its audiences, one of the most satisfactory films of the year. Yeah. A great, big, fat, stupid, greasy cheeseburger of a movie designed to show in vivid detail what the end of human civilization will look like, according to his vast army of brilliant visual effects artists. And that's a good review, because he gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Of course, Peter Travers says, 2012 has the dubious miracle of almost matching Transformers 2 for sheer cynical, mind-numbing, time-wasting, money-draining, soul-suckingly stupidity. There was... In 2010, Entertainment Weekly reported a planned spin-off TV series 2013, which would have been a sequel to the film. ABC will have an opening in their disaster-related programming after Lost ends, so people would be interested in this topic on a weekly basis. After the movie, there are some people who survive, and the question is, how will these survivors build a new world, and what will it look like? That might make an interesting TV series. Plans were canceled because of budgetary reasons. Huh. Okay. Did not know there's supposed to be a TV show because of that. Interesting. Did not know. But you learn something new every day. Yeah, that sucks because you're not able to do much to combat this. And just sorry, I'm just bumble fucking around now. I'm trying, guys. It's a 2.5 hour movie. Doing my best. And again, I don't know shit about science. I'm sure it's all bullshit, but I wouldn't know the first, second, or third thing about it, so I just, whatever. I'll believe what you say. I'm not gonna believe that. I mean, I'd be like, sure, I get what you're saying, dude. Sure. The science behind it, again, I don't know shit about it. Whether it be in space, whether it be anything in between, I'm like, okay, sure. The neutrinos, okay, sure. I'm sure that's a real thing. And the fact that I don't know that shows how dumb I am in the subject. I'll just say that. I'm very below casual in knowledge of that nature. And I can admit that, so it is what it is. But again, you're trying to juggle all these people around, and it just... It's tough to do. I can admit it would be tough to do. I think this is the last time we see these characters. Again, there's a deleted scene where at least this guy survived. But I guess they're like, well, you look what's going on here. You look at this event. Can you really sell an audience that... I mean, you're selling them on everything else. Like, that would be the most unrealistic part of it, but... Yeah, you look at this stuff here, and you're like, yeah... I guess also going to that tragic portion that, not everyone's going to make it out. Again, it's just... When Roland Emmerich said fuck it, he just said fuck it, go for broke. Like, the president pretty much gets hit with a fucking battleship. I mean, Well, not Battleship, but I mean, you get what I mean. And there's the White House. Well, he blew up the White House and Independence Day. You gotta find a different way to do it. I will say this is the story that kind of suffers a little bit because your main protagonist, John Cusack, all he can do is just wait while everything in the world is happening. All your main lead can do is just wait until they get to their destination. And well, I get it, but at the same time, it loses a little bit of the driving force. But at least it's trying to establish a bit more of the characters here. And I say I don't mind the actors, so yeah, I don't mind Amanda Peet. I think she was in Saving Silverman. I think that was the film I'm thinking of, where she tries to tame Jason Biggs from American Pie, and then it's up to Steve Zahn and Jack Black to stop her. I remember liking Saving Silverman. I enjoyed that in the theater. Yes, I did see it in the theater. I think it was some weird thing that the school... Which is strange. I think I remember them doing it twice for some reason. Like for a class trip, because there was that many places to go. One of them was, let's go to a movie theater and see a movie. I think they only did that like twice or so. I think one was the Mothman Prophecies and one was Saving Silverman. I think like maybe you had a choice between one or two. No, I worded that wrong. What, like, when you went there, I think you had a choice between two films, and one time I chose Saving Silverman, the other time chose about Mothman Prophecies. Different years, so. Anyway, it doesn't matter. And I guarantee you, anyone involved with this film, they would kind of go, no one would talk about this film. They would just make fun of it. It's funny, you take the paycheck. I'm like, dude, films like this aren't that bad. You want to talk about bad films, like really, really bad films? Go watch Shark Exorcist. Go watch Kingdom of Var. Go watch Feeders 1 and 2. Go watch Hell's Highway from like 2002 or whatever. Go watch Neil Breen's movies. Go watch this film. By the time you see this, the review will be uploaded. This Hugh Grant film called Night Train to Venice or whatever the hell. Go watch The Star Crystal, where a fucking orange blob alien kills people, reads an electronic Bible, and then because it read the Bible on a computer, it found religion and becomes pretty much a Jehovah's fucking Witness. I'm sorry I killed your friends. By the way, can I have a spaceship so I can leave? And he gets it. It's supposed to be some touching ending where they send the alien off. You know, the same alien that murdered the friends. You want to see bad movies? Those are some fucking bad movies. Sorry, I mean, again, I know it's not the most exciting, just me, just... I guess just to reiterate, okay, positives and negatives with the film. Positives, the cast. John Cusack, like I said, I enjoy him as an actor. I think he brings a nice, likable personality to be in the lead. He doesn't do much of these type of films, so it's a nice change of pace to see that. I think he did a good job. The kids are not irritating or annoying. They're light, they're fine, perfectly fine. Like Danny Glover and Chiwetel Ejiofor and Thandiwe Newton do their jobs well. The special effects for a 2009 film, that was pretty damn decent. Like I said, some of these effects look as decent as some of the films that come out this year. I've had a little bit of complaints with the pacing, but I would say overall, yes, there's maybe 10 minutes you could cut out, but it's still a better pace than a lot of films of late that are 2.5 hours. This is still a much easier sit through than The Eternals. I will say it. This is an easier sit through to me than the recent Avengers films. Endgame, I'd rather watch this any day than Endgame. I do. I admit that, and I don't care. People get mad, people get mad. It's my opinion. It's got the spectacle, it's got the scope, the sense of humor. It doesn't go into dick jokes, fart jokes, fucking jokes, like some of the lamer Michael Bay jokes that he would do, like Transformer films. Because that reviewer mentioned, was it Peter Travis from Rolling Stone? Compare this to Transformers 2. Which I gotta admit, when I first saw Transformers 2, I liked it because I liked the spectacle. The special effects spectacle. But that's a film that doesn't, for most people, didn't hold up 5 minutes after the film was done, or 5 minutes into the film. To me, it took me a bit because I didn't grow up with Transformers. I grew up with Ninja Turtles, a little bit of He-Man, a little bit of G.I. Joe, but I did not grow up with Transformers. So, I'm like, wow, look what they did with these characters. And Shia LaBeouf, I like him better in Eagle Eye, I like him better in Disturbia. Yeah, those films did not hold up. And it was like the first two. The third one I hated when it first came out. The fourth one I hated when it first came out. So I said, fuck the fifth one. I don't give a shit about Bumblebee. I don't. Bumblebee Tuna. I've seen clips. I'm not interested. I'm just kind of done with Transformers. I'm sorry, I am. I know people say, well, Bumblebee's better. Well, Bumblebee just looks more tamer. It might be technically better, but I just don't care. You know, when you watch films, you just, I don't care, just don't care. Now, the problems with the film, again, I do think there's about 10 minutes here and there you could cut out, at least. A lot of conveniences. Oh, it just so happens this guy's a co-pilot. It just so happens this other guy can learn how to fly. It just so happens they could do this. Just so happens they could do that. Just so happens, just so... That does happen quite a bit in this film. But it's them trying to get from A to B to C as quickly as you can, and you take shortcuts to do it. And, trying to think. Again, Woody Harrelson, I wish was in the film more. Again, the Russian guy is not bad. And they do that for a reason to... But again, they're doing it because eventually he's the guy that could get them onto it. He has the power. But I think he fucks him over too. I think he does fuck him over a bit. That's what I mean, is like, I actually would have liked Woody Harrelson to be a part of this more. You know, instead of this Dr. Gorman guy. I think that's really what it is. Like, if you want to, you can keep the Russian family. Again, instead of this doctor guy, have it be the Woody Harrelson character. This poor guy. He tried to do the right thing, and fate said, "Nope, fuck it, goodbye. You're a firework." One big firework. Tough titty. They're like, tough shit. This is like a Noah's Ark type of thing. We need some of each animal. Is that the best way to transport animals, though? I do wonder, like, how long have these animals been flying? I do wonder how long these animals have been flying sky high like this. Reminds me of Operation Dumble Drop. For all 5 of you that remember that movie, Ray Liotta, Danny Glover, Dennis Leary, it was a Disney film about dropping a fucking elephant to where it needs to go. But yeah, they're not gonna make it. This girl got fucked over. But I guess, I mean, it makes sense that what this type of guy is, he's not going to have that much of a change of heart. And it's interesting that the finale of the film is pretty much trying to get onto this thing. It's kind of a, not an insurgent movie, but trying to get onto, quote, the arc. Oh, it's Stephen McHattie, right? Isn't it Stephen McHattie? Yeah, from... Oh, what's that movie? He's not on screen right now, but... Oh, what is that film where he plays a radio DJ and you get infected by a certain voice or a certain sound? God, I forgot what the fuck that movie was. It was a very interesting idea, and he does a really good job, although I wasn't really a fan of the ending. But damn, I remember, like, wow, this is actually a pretty interesting idea, and I liked the film for the most part, so much that I can't remember the damn title. He's been in other stuff too, but... Damn, I wish I could remember that movie now. I'm sure I could if I get the phone, but oh well. I think sometime he's going to find out that his buddy never arrived. The guy who said, I'm going to promise you a ride. So Ejiofor is going to find that out pretty soon. They never arrived. I think Platt fucked him over or something. It's funny, this is a type of film that they would kind of try to do today. Work with China, progressive, but you know what? They were just doing it because they were just making a film. They weren't like, we need to do this because we need to appease China, or we need to sweeten our dick, look how progressive we are. It's no, we hired actors who do a good job. This is why we're doing it first and foremost. Don't they do that nowadays? Not really. Not really. I can't remember if this doctor guy gets killed off too. I want to say yes, he does. I can't remember. But yeah, I can be a sucker for disaster films. I mentioned The Core. The Core I saw in the theater, and did I see? I think I did see that in the theater. Oh, okay, that's where this comes into play. Okay, that's why we established this character. Gotcha now. Okay, I'll give you that movie. Just like, why are we establishing like the character involved with the? That's why. Okay. Okay, movie. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. See, I forgot about that. Didn't apologize. My memory's not the best. I'm getting old. I'm getting old. I'm getting way too old for the brain rot. You watch enough shitty films. I don't think this is a shitty film at all. Not at all. If people think this is a shitty film, again, look at this year alone. Look at films like Cinderella 2021 and Karen and what's that one fucking film? Music. I mean, Oliver Platt's being a dick. I kind of get his mentality where if there's only a certain amount of people that can get in, there's no way you can get everybody. Oh, there's his buddy and his family. And they're not going to make it. But damn. That's true, you could fit 10 people in here. There you go. That just sucks. I think the actor, I mean, like this bit here, there wasn't a lot of establishment of this character, but this is, I mean, I thought there was, the actors were genuine. Goodbye, my friend. And I thought Ejiofor, again, this guy's a good actor, and he's fucking super pissed. There you go. Dude, at least he had a prediction. You still be there with a thumb up your fat ass. Fuck you, Oliver Platt. Talk about the character. I don't remember the character's name, so I just call him by his actual name. Fuck you, Oliver Platt. Of course, you're going to find a way to truncate the time. Instead of 90 minutes left, there's less than half an hour left. There's Stephen McCaddy. He looks like a almost officer for the Empire with that outfit. That gray outfit. Ready to serve Darth Vader. Lord Vader. Okay, that's why you had to have this family to pick up our lead family. Now that I think about it, some of this does remind me of that film Greenland. At least the third act, I should say, of Greenland. I do like the fact that they didn't just make this other guy like the typical dickhead guy. There's, actual halfway decent person. Yeah, I think this other guy does get killed off. But yeah, I like that they didn't make him just a one-dimensional dickhead. Which that could be very easy to do, but they didn't do that. I thought that was actually not too bad of a choice. Sorry, now again, I'd get back to just getting sucked into the movie watching. Yeah, you knew this was going to happen. I mean, come on, there's no. If you think it's going to be reasonable, go work retail on a Black Friday, man. Reasonable ain't in the cards. When there's a fucking rush, people won't give a shit. Yeah, these rooms are pretty damn big. You could fit like 10 fucking people. But I figure it's because of food or water. That's why you only have a certain amount of people. Not because of there's no room. It's like, well, do you have enough food? Do you have enough supplies? Do you have enough toilet paper? We ran out of fucking toilet paper. We run out of toilet paper here. What if someone gets diarrhea and what if 100 people get diarrhea? You have enough toilet paper? Wipe your ass with your hands. Don't do that, Jack. So I didn't know that the reason Roland Emmerich did this is that he wanted to do a biblical flood movie. It doesn't make sense now. Like the Ark, Noah's Ark, the animals that we saw airlifted. If you have a Noah's Ark, who can get into these things? Yeah, this huge fucking rush of people. All these people kind of got left behind, pretty much. I guess really I'm being silent because I'm just listening to the dialogue to pay attention to the story, but just imagine just how much work and time would have went into these, if as a reality, to be able to build these things. And like I said, a lot of these people, if you probably would you have to tell them why you're building them? I don't know for certain. Of course, save the dog, which I don't mind. I mean, that's not the first time this happened in a disaster movie. Save the dog in Volcano, save the dog at Independence Day. Of course, the scene where it jumps out, out of the way of danger. Oh yeah, she's not gonna make it. I think her dog will make it, but she's not gonna make it. I don't think. I can't remember, man. But she made it that time. I'm trying to remember, like, I know John Cusack, none of his family die. I know Chiwetel Ejiofor lives. I just don't remember who else. Convince the other, yeah. Convince them to launch and they're. And this is Ejiofor trying to do the best that he can. I thought this was a good speech by this guy. And I thought he delivers it fairly well. This for me is that people call it corny, people call it cringy, but to me it's still a character having a sense of morality, which sometimes needs to be said to keep that notion going. But it's a notion that gets kind of flatlined because it's looked at as campy and silly, but it's a noble speech that's not bad to be said again and again and again. Also, I think there's a deleted scene where someone does punch Oliver Platt out, and I don't know why that was taken out either. I think that's in one of the deleted scenes. They should have been kept in, because that would have been like a nice crowd-pleasing moment. I like that, he remembers his friend. Sometimes little stuff like that gets lost. Like, this guy's affected by the death of his friend, so that's part of the reason why he's standing up in this moment. It's little moments here and there that add up to make you feel for the character, root for the character, or characters, and a lot of times they get lost in translation, as if some people don't think it's that important. And that also goes back to what Ejiofor was talking about with John Cusack's character. About reading the book is like, do you think people would be that selfless? And he's like, well, I hope so. I know people said I'm very naive and optimistic, but I like to think so. I mean, the finale does kind of feel like a little bit of a different movie. Because the rest of the film is about the destruction of cities and trying to get to this point. And then when you get to this point, again, there's like another almost hour left of just trying to get into this thing. Oh, does he? Ah, damn. Yeah, I don't think he's gonna make it. Yeah. And you feel bad because the guy wasn't a dick. He wasn't a prick. He didn't deserve it. He helped them out, being the pilot. They wouldn't be there without him, and he gets killed. And sad shit like that happens. Sad to say. Oh yeah, and I just fucked up, and they gotta fix it to save everyone else. I think this is where you get the DVD cover. This part here, coming up. And with the end credits, we still got 30 minutes. Wow. Like I said, I still think it's a bit better pace than some of the other films of today. But, yeah, I do think there's about 15 minutes you could cut out of it, to be fair. As I watch this again, more fresh in my mind. Sorry about that. There's about 15 minutes here and there you could cut out. Yeah, I think he saves his kids, but he dies. I'm sorry, that's like the most laughable part of the movie. I gotta be honest. I gotta be honest. That was terrible. It's the Russian guy somehow lifting this fat boy up, launching him like a fucking firework, and as he does, he falls. Oh, the CGI laugh. I'm not supposed to laugh, but that was pretty fucking funny. That's the worst part of the fucking Jesus Christ. But yeah, I apologize. I'm just sort of just watching the film now as a viewer. There goes the Cho Min airfield's been hit. Okay, you get the fuck out of here. It's like, everybody get the fuck out of my way. It's going to hit them and they don't drift in, but then again, it's cascading, it's overflowing. We're going to the shore, just cascading, exciting, going to and fro. Sorry about that. We get the fuck out of here. Then you put those guys in, they're going to drown anyway. This is kind of remind me a little bit of like the Poseidon Adventure. I don't know, this does remind me a little bit of the Poseidon Adventure type of stuff. Not that that's a bad thing. Yeah, I don't think she makes it here. I think she gets her dog. I don't know if she doesn't make it or they're just separated. Like I say, it does feel a little bit like a different movie when you get to this part of the flick. I wonder if that's how a lot of people felt. I don't know. I mean, I don't mind it. I definitely would say you get your money's worth when you buy a ticket. Damn, just skidding all on the fucking thing. Man, should have had more precautions about this whole thing. Damn, talk about surfing the waves, Jesus. Yeah, I think she drowns. That's great, open the goddamn door. Hey, we met at Yellowstone. Oh, that's great, open the goddamn... See, a little bits like that was understandable. And like, yeah, that's what you say. Oh, that's great, open the fucking door now. We'll chit-chat later. Or run right into Mount Everest. That'd be funny if it ran through it, just crashed through the entire mountain. That's somehow. Find a way to take the regular guy and do something nice and heroic. Okay, we don't have time for this. I mean, I get it, but taking responsibility, fixing. I do hate the fact it was their fault. It would be nice if it was like Oliver Platt's fault, like someone else's fault, and then they have to fix it. So it's not about fixing your mistake. It's about living up to his book, doing something selfless for the betterment of another person, and him being, oh, I'm naive, optimistic. So yeah, I would have preferred if it was again a mistake that someone else made, Oliver Platt or whoever. Yeah, she's gonna drown, so she ain't gonna make it. But I mean, there's it does people with that sense of danger that people can die. That's supposed to be part of the point of this. There we go. I forgot the kid's name was Noah too. Really? Noah, Noah's Ark. I'm gonna say the kid's gonna be there to help out. Again, sorry I'm not saying much, but I kind of just ran out of things to say because it's hard to talk consistently for almost 2.5 hours, especially if it's something that I'm not going to be bitching about. Pretty much just John Cusack trying to get this shit out of there so that they can close the gate. Just wrench it out, man. Wrench it out. Yeah, just wrench the shit out. Then go die elsewhere. Shut up. Just pull the fucking thing, man. It's So pretty much you have to unhook this table around. I don't know if this sequence of events needed to go on for so long. I think for a chunk of the audience, you're going a bit too long to the point that people are like, okay, get to it. What the hell is he doing now? It looked like John Cusack was, for some reason... It looked like John Cusack was staying there behind for some reason. I didn't understand. I can imagine just all the work of trying to be underwater for this long. I mean, it's definitely a new experience. And in John Cusack, you look at the films he does, either comedies or maybe dramas. Like, he doesn't do a lot of horror, except 1408. He doesn't do a lot of action, like Con Air. Again, John Cusack, his direct-to-video work, he barely pops up. He was in a film with Morgan Freeman called The Contract. That was okay for what it was. It was okay. It was John Cusack and Morgan Freeman. You know, it was alright. I'm trying to remember what else we had with him in it. I can't remember. I'd have to look at a list. Does Amanda Peet go for him? Can't remember. If I can't remember if Amanda Peet goes for him or he just pops up. Oh, there he is. Okay. I think it would have been cool if Amanda Peet goes for him and brings him out of it. But, okay, that's not how it went. I know you all cheering, but we just had another girl in between who just drowned. And, yeah, but keep cheering. Hey, remember that Russian girl who saved your daughter and got her through the opening? She's kind of dead and drowned. But I guess, you know, no one cares about her. Oh well. We're not even going to talk about it. We're not even going to mention it. Remember that girl that drowned? In between? Nope. Just got to day 27. Nope. Sweep that under the rug. Okay, movie. Alright. Just think about they're separated because they're over here. John Cusack and them were over here, and there was another chamber between. Oh, there's a dead body. You know, the dead Russian girl. Nope, we're not going to mention that. We're not going to think about it. Not one fucking bit. Okay. Alright. Again, okay, movie. He's wearing a computer. I wonder if that means if there's any internet. I guess what for? Like, what else you don't look on the internet? I guess Not really. There would be no internet services or anything in that sort. But like I said, I did not know there was talks of a TV show. Obviously, I mean, that's the thing though. If you're not going to have this cast. That's the thing about. It wouldn't make sense to do a TV show because if it's a TV show, I guess there are other arcs and there's a lot of people. It's just we would never see the people from the movie. So it'd be this weird continuity, but not really type of format. Because you're not going to get John Cusack and these people do a TV show. I also don't like the fact that Oliver Platt never gets. He never gets a comeuppance. Again, even like a punch to the face, broken nose would have been nice. Would have been a little bit satisfying. So the fact that Oliver Platt doesn't get a comeuppance. Like I said, I think by the time it gets to his third act, it does lose a bit of steam. So again, there's a top 3 faults of the film. Number 1, convenience. Number 2, Woody Harrelson not being along for the ride. And I would have him make it to the end. And number 3, by the time it gets to the third act, it does lose steam. It does. I would say, of all the acts of the film, this is the least interesting act of the movie. I don't consider it bad. I just don't consider it terrible. Again, it's just, it does lose a bit of steam by the time it gets to here. Like I said, let Oliver Platt get a comeuppance. I don't think you need to kill the Russian girl off. Because again, it just makes it awkward where they're safe here, but this corridor in the middle, dead Russian girl. So, and the movie knew it, so that's why we skip ahead. Like, even the movie knew it. And I'm trying to think. Also, the fact that it was their fault. I wish it was Oliver Platt's fault. And let Oliver Platt's character get killed instead. That's the thing. Like, kill off Oliver Platt, and he's trying to do something, and it's his fault, and he's being an asshole, running away somewhere. He gets killed, drowns. Like, let his character drown instead of that Russian girl. And have the Russian girl take care of the 2 kids with the dog. Yeah, that's just my thought process on it. Little things I would change here and there. But overall, it's a fun movie for what it is. It's not a film I rewatch a lot, obviously, since I didn't remember chunks of it. I do think the first half of the film is a bit better than the second half. I do think the third act loses a bit of steam. But pretty decent special effects. Definitely has a scope and spectacle you would want out of a disaster movie. Has good actors in it. Like I said, John Cusack, Chiwetel. I can never admit. I always butcher his fucking name. Amanda Peet. Like the cast do their jobs well. And overall, not too bad of a film. I've seen much, much worse movies. It's not a favorite. I mean, 2009, I'd have to look back to what films came out in 2009. And, actually, that'll be one last thing I'll do as the credits roll. Let me look back in 2009 and look at what films came out. Now, of course, the best way to look is Wikipedia, and they're not going to have a lot of direct-to-video films. So there may be direct-to-video films in 2009 that I like that are not featured in it, but let me give a once this thing starts. Let me give a... Damn, 340. Yeah, it was almost like 1 something. Now it's 340. 2009 in film. Okay, let me look. American films, yeah. No! Stop. Just give me fucking Watchmen. I don't want Watchmen. Alright. We have... Let's see. Not the Unborn. My Bloody Valentine I liked. Friday the 13th, the reboot, I liked. So those are 2 I liked. I would probably put those 2 above this. Oh, Taken with Liam Neeson. That's definitely near the top of the list for 2009. Fanboys I liked. Not everyone's cup of tea, but I liked it. Would I put above this? I don't know. But like Taken, that might be number 1. Medea goes to jail? Fuck no. Let's see. Street Fighter Legend of Chun-Li, that's one of the worst. Horseman, but Dennis Quaid, that was disappointing. Watchmen I liked. I gotta be honest, I would put this above Watchmen, because I like Watchmen, but I don't know, it's not a film I rewatch a lot, to be honest. Race to Witch Mountain is actually a film with The Rock that I did enjoy, and I'll watch over his shit nowadays. I like Race to Witch Mountain. But yeah, Taken would be number 1 so far. Let's see. The Fast and Furious 4, fuck no. Dragon Ball Evolution, fuck no. Observer Report, as much as I don't like Seth Rogen nowadays, I thought he did a good job in that. I actually thought the film was funny. Trank 2, High Voltage, that's definitely near the top of the list, along with Taken. So Trank 2, that's up there. The Soloist, that's the film with Robert Downey Jr. and Jamie Foxx. It was there. X-Men Origins Wolverine. Yeah, not so much. Star Trek 2009. I liked Angels and Demons. That was the sequel to the Da Vinci Code. This Terminator Salvation. Sally. That's the better Terminator film than we got in quite a while. Sad to say. I could watch Terminator Salvation. Up, not a bad movie. The Hangover, I thought was fun. Land of the Lost, I thought was entertaining, but I never watched the show, so maybe that's why. Moon, that's a really good one. Sam Rockwell, Moon, that's a really good one. That's definitely up there, Moon. Telltale 123 remake, I didn't mind. The Proposal with Ryan Reynolds, Sandra Bullock, I thought it was fun for what it needed to be. The Hurt Locker, that's a damn good one. That's up there in the list. So yeah, Taken, Crank 2, The Hurt Locker, Moon, that'd be near the top of the list. Said you had a Harry Potter film. G-Force, remember G-Force? G.I. Joe, The Rise of Cobra, not a fan of. District 9, that's a good one. That's up there. So there's been some good films in 2009. Aside from Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, which sucked ass. So yeah, I wouldn't say 2009 was that much better of a year, to be honest, but you still got, Taken, The Hangover, District 9, The Hurt Locker, stuff of that nature. Moon. But, with that said, thanks for watching. I don't know if anyone have watched the whole thing, but with that said, thanks for watching. We will see you guys later. Bye-bye.